Hello, my name's Juliette. I'm from Staffordshire University and I'm studying for a Masters in Arts and Creative Technologies, focusing on fine art, which is what I did my degree in. I also run the Art and Design Saturday Club at university, where a group of Year 9 and 10s do different creative activities each week. So today I'm here to do an art activity with you around saving the planet for the UFI online residential. So we're going to be looking at alternatives to paint using sustainable items and things we can find at home, mainly sort of foodstuffs. It's a good way of sort of recycling, using up stuff that we find at the back of the cupboard, and also using some things that we might throw away. So the first thing we need to do is have a look around our cupboards to see what sorts of things we can use for paints. So I had a little look around and I found lots of different things. I'm going to tell you how to sort of mix them up as well. So first I got some tea bags. And I've got 2 tea bags in here, and I've just covered it with some hot water and let it brew for a bit, and I will dip my paintbrush in there and use that. I got some instant coffee granules, and I've put a bit of hot water in there, mixed it around. It's quite a thick consistency, but that should be all right to paint with. I also got some frozen red fruit, so I've got some strawberries, frozen strawberries here, which I've defrosted and mushed up. And then I've done the same with some blueberries as well, and mushed them up. I also found some spices. So I got some cinnamon, added some water to that, mixed it up. It's very strange. It's very gloopy, but it looks like it might make a good strong colour. I've got some turmeric. So I mixed a bit of water with that, and this has made a lovely paste, really good paint consistency. You can add as little or as much water as you want. You can add water to it to make it a bit thinner as well, add a bit more. And I've got some paprika, which I've done the same with as I did with the cinnamon and the turmeric, and that's made a really lovely paint as well. And the other thing I've done is I've got some onion skins. Boiled them up for about 10 minutes in the pan, and then tipped it into the water. I've still left some onion skins in there, and that's given sort of an orangey sort of colour. I didn't have anything I could do anything green with, but I know that kale or spinach works in the same way as the onion skins do. If you boil up 10 minutes some kale and then squash it down and leave it in the water, then that gives you a nice green sort of colour paint as well. So for thousands of years, people didn't have ready-made paints, and they would find anything around them in nature to paint with. So from earth and clay to plants and bugs, pushing them up and grinding them up to make their own pigments. So these will work really well as well. They did for centuries. So what we need to do is, once we've mixed up our paints, we need to test them out to see what sort of colours they come out there. So get yourself a piece of paper and paint a little bit on, and note down what they are so you don't forget. So although the cinnamon was a bit gloopy, it's given this really nice effect because it was so thick when it's dried. So I think it might still work quite well. So they're all the different ones that I've done. So what you're going to do next is we're going to create a piece of protest art. So making art can give your voice a visual platform to get your message out there and get it across, and people can see it, and it can be there all the time. And protest art is a broad term that refers to creative work that is often produced by activists and social movements. But there's contemporary and historic works that have been made, and lots of artists use this form to get a message that they're passionate about across. So I've got a couple of examples for you here. Printed them off together. So first we've got Banksy here. I remember when all this was trees. So I don't want you to do any graffiti though. We're going to do a poster. So I've got 3 different examples of posters from different times. So here we've got a poster from 2018 by Micah Bassant, who created it as a March for Our Lives, which was a student-led protest in America where they wanted stricter gun laws. We've got this Protect Our Parks, which is actually from 1938. So even back then, this was Stanley Thomas Clough, and they want people to respect the nature and look after the parks, look after that bit of green space that they've got. And then here we've got a poster from 1913, which was by Cornelia Cassidy Davis, and it was for women's suffrage in America. So Let Ohio Women Vote. So obviously this was happening in England as well. You're probably well aware of the suffragette movement, and posters and artworks were used particularly in America as well, and in this country, to get that message across. So with your natural paints that you have made, I would like you to make your own protest artwork poster around saving the planet. So it can have drawings, and it should have some words on it as well. Not too many. We want it to stand out. If you're doing a drawing, make sure it's quite sort of strong and simple and really eye-catching and stands out. So I've done a really simple. I've only used a bit of text in mine just for a really quick example. I obviously just put save the planet. I quite like how all the paints, because I made it perhaps a little bit too wet, have sort of run into each other and made this sort of bleeding effect as if it's all sort of, you know, decaying and eroding away sort of thing. But I used all my paints, all my colours. It smells beautiful because you've got all those lovely smells from the foodstuffs that you've used. So yeah, you could have trees on there. You could have like a tree flourishing on one side and then dying on the other side, or whatever you want. You could do something to do with the oceans and the plastics that are in the oceans as well. There's all sorts of different things about saving the environment that you might be feeling slightly more passionate about. We should all be passionate about looking after our planet. So we look forward to seeing what you produce. So do take pictures and send them in to us. Okay, I hope you enjoy the activities and have a really great day. Take care. Bye.